So thanks for supporting local. Also, thanks for supporting local when you support Warchant.com, the YouTube page, the chat, message boards, the website, all of it. We appreciate you, and thanks so much for supporting the Jeff Cameron Show. Man, I didn't think we'd get here, but of course we always do if we're lucky enough to still be here, right? So we exhale, we say a little thank you to the universe and to the football gods for bestowing us with another season. That's right, because throughout the 50-plus days that I've been at some point referencing it to start the show, the number has always been, a number. It's like 54, 66, whatever it might be. It's 0 days until the start of college football. 0. 23 hours, 51 minutes, but 0 days until the start of college football. Glorious.
You can't fake the enthusiasm on a day like today because it's there in spades.
Yeah. You don't have to convince yourself. You don't have to lie about it. You don't have to maybe fake it till you make it. The countdown clock says 0. Now, again, it says 0, 23 hours, 51 minutes, 28 seconds, 27 seconds, 26 seconds. But nonetheless, that is a 0.
Here's something that'll put a smile on your face, perhaps a little bit of longing as well. It's currently 6 p.m. on Friday night in Dublin, the night before a football game.
It's a fun happy hour on the streets of Dublin, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
We had a wonderful time setting up shop there, hosting parties, hosting shows, and hosting our fellow Noles and anybody that felt like walking by and coming on in and enjoying the atmosphere.
The old storehouse.
Great place, one of many that are there. And, of course, I would trade right now their weather for what we have here. I'd much rather have their weather than we have here. I'd say that.
I was glad that now that we're a year out of it, that we were in the beer garden and not set up inside.
No, that would have sucked.
Inside would have been a problem. Mm-hmm. That was very densely packed area.
Became a zoo.
Yeah. The one thing that we inconvenienced the locals was the apartment buildings and flats above the bar. That door was right behind us where we were setting up for the video shows.
Yeah.
And so constantly these people walking out with bicycles and stuff. And
I gotta tell you,
what is this?
Yeah, by the way, you gotta, that's a bitter pill to swallow, but one you made a choice to do.
That's right.
The second you chose to live above a bar.
Yeah. Yeah. And your front door is a beer garden door.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of, you understand I'm saving hundreds of dollars a month in rent for the inconvenience of a Friday and Saturday. Largely. Also, it's not like folks don't like to drink in Ireland. Just saying.
In the touristy district of Dublin.
You live there, baby. You know what you signed up for. It's going to be a bit of a... You probably get used to sleeping where it's loud. By the way, there you go, Noel Dad. I saw you tweeted at me. Yes, the Mighty Lions did cover in defeat last night to Wakulla. So it was actually, I owe Leon an apology. Good job, Wakulla, but I owe Leon an apology. I thought they would get stomped by 45. It was a one-possession game with 7 minutes to play. It was a fun game. Dare I say I had fun at a high school football game that my son wasn't even playing in.
Oh, my stars.
Doesn't happen much with this one, but I did. I had a good time, and both teams played hard and played pretty well, so I rather enjoyed that football game. Even found a way to enjoy portions of halftime. That's never happened. Yeah. I thought the band was good.
Uh-oh. The 60s are creeping in.
No. It wasn't like I was like, oh, this tune. No, it was like I was enjoying that the kids were having as much fun as they were. Like, oh, they're reveling in this. They're having a blast. And their parents, seeing the look on their parents' faces.
So it's an overnight payoff, but Noel Dad said he's efforting to go get a polo in the chat next week. The brand new season polo. Well, you teased the T-shirt yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I did. You have it now?
I do. So there it is on the screen, and it is glorious looking.
Garnet and Gold, our friends that work hand in hand here with us on the Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Warchant, and all of you in the community of Tallahassee and beyond, teaming up with home field there, and how cool is that? They'll be at the Corner Pocket 1 week from today, and this ought to be good. So that'd be good.
It's a Garnet and Gold exclusive from Home Field. So there you go. Only can get it at Garnet and Gold. And they picked a good design. Sometimes in these situations, you see the design. Well, there are many shirts that look like that. No, that is unique. And for those of you driving around town, it is an old school mustard yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Comfy looking t-shirt. Looks
proper
like
garnet.
Proper garnet. It's also the right material. You're big on the tri-blend?
Tri-blend's of vital importance. Now that tri-blend exists, no other shirt should.
Long, tall block lettering of FSU.
Woman in a black dress.
In front of that, Osceola Renegade with the spear. A fantastic t-shirt.
Optimusic Climb writes, not to the level.
Optimus Climb.
I said Optimusic.
That would be a good genre.
I know. Not to the level of. I can't see the little.
Yeah, the ats are no good.
I know Optimus Climb. I do know.
Optimopus?
The Optoponymous.
Optoponymous, poor boy.
Not to the level of Verse and Fisk, but if they had 2 extra plus players at edge and defensive tackle, to what degree would that alter your outlook for Bama? Well, considerably. I probably wouldn't pick us to win, but I would give us a shot. It's a little frustrating too, Tom, about some of the sense I get with the Wynn injury is that it's not nothing, man. And so, we may be without him for a little while.
I agree. The way that Mike talked about it a week ago, it might stretch out a little bit. Okay. Awesome. We talking Miami, Mike?
Looks like Jenkins will be back, though.
Right. Specifically, that question, I would love to have seen Verse and Fisk operate with this front scheme. He didn't really need a 4th guy anyway with those 2.
Right,
and the angles and the stunts and the games that you could create in Tony White's scheme with those 2 athletic skill sets, oh my Lord, would have been fun.
So is something wrong with my mic? Or is that just me having fun with the pronunciation of...
I think it's the pronunciation stuff.
I was going to say, because I've seen a series of things. I'm like, wait a minute. We're all good here. I'm not drunk. Should be on a Libations Friday, but I'm not. I wish I were. It is the weekend in which college football starts. Here we go. I'll have to maintain not even a Cat 5 over the weekend because there's no game here in Tally in which we are amped up to attend, but rather just the slate of college football, which frankly isn't that good, but it gets a pass because it's the first of all the college football games.
Right.
Yeah.
Ben Crane and Charles Howell III being the first tee time at the British Open.
You're like, Ben Crane. That is such a good pull of Ben Crane.
Thank you. I just want to see the course. So Ben Crane's going to tell me about the course.
All right, Ben Crane, what you got this weekend? Something that means you'll miss the cut for sure. But let's see the course.
The only man more pale than I.
Ben.
There he is.
When he used to take off that hat and you'd go, oh.
Although
Ben.
Bobby Mack now is,
Yeah.
He's the resident champ.
Well, you're not as pale as Bobby Mack because you've lived in Florida virtually your whole life.
I paid for it at the
but
office.
Yes, you have the same genetic background or similar.
That's right.
And thus
our people were not made for this kind of sun.
No. You were going to roam the highlands and be just fine in that situation.
That's right.
Not on the Serengeti.
Overcast and 65, not blazing sun, heat index of 109. Yeah.
You should see this guy play golf when we go together. So it is always something to behold. My man's long sleeve, whether it's 98 or not outside. And if he's not, which is rare, I mean, it's just gallons. I mean, that spray of the SPF 90 that he breaks out of the bag is just
SPF Anglo. Thank you very much.
While I'm grabbing my 7-iron. Jesus, you're gonna die. You're gonna ingest the SPF. This is gonna be bad.
At the end, I usually throw it up to the sky the way LeBron used to with the powder.
The smoke. You're like, whoosh, on your calf. I'm like, Jesus, man.
What do I have? 132. Okay, thank you.
I don't know how you can hold the club.
Well,
it's something to
have to
behold.
dry off the right hand. Yeah. After that.
All right, so how do we feel 1 week out? Really big picture stuff here. I'm not getting specific about any of the details at Florida State. There are none right now. They have been very, very good at shielding, at least in terms of who's going to start. We'll know more on Monday. Does certainly seem to stand to reason that we'll get a depth chart and an understanding of who's what come Monday of next week. So, until that time, there's really not much here. They're not going to go and have some sort of in-depth, hard-hitting scrimmage over the weekend. So we're pretty much where we're at. The injuries are the injuries, knock on wood. I mean, I hope nobody gets hurt in walkthroughs next week, but I mean.
Only if our luck stays the same.
Yeah, but seems like we're good to go. And other than, frankly, the Wynn injury, and we did get the shot in the arm that is Jenkins being back.
Yeah, question from Ryan in the chat saying, all told a month ago before camp
started.
If
you had told me Jenkins was back and ready to go, given that he's played college football in the SEC, yes.
Yeah, you would trade him for Wynn for this game?
I would. I wished we didn't have to because this is a team with thin depth. Like, specifically, this team could not afford to lose any of the contributors that were going to play in the Alabama game. And by the way, Wynn was going to play in the Alabama game, most assuredly. He's strong beyond his years, cock strong, as they say. He's one of those guys, country, able to move some things despite being 18 years old.
Optimus Cockstrong.
He's ridiculous. And so he was going to play. Not having him hurts. Would have liked to have had him out on the field for even 15 snaps. But alas, you're right. Big picture, getting back a kid with the experience that Jenkins has. Okay, man, we're good. We're good. I feel, positive about that development. But do you feel antsy? You feel sort of angst-ridden, if you will? Or are you just ready to get it on?
I'll tell you what. Here's how I feel, because this is what I just did. I pulled up the Earth Cam of Doak to see how the grass is looking today.
Let me pull up the StreamYard, then I didn't have it up.
No, well, I haven't.
I thought you were showing it to the masses.
On my own time.
Yeah.
I was doing it on my own time.
Oh, it's got you going now, doesn't it?
Look
at that.
The numbers. They got the numbers going down.
Are there, gang. To the 10, 20. Yeah, there it is.
Yep. 35-30, 25-20. That's probably actually the best thing that Gene did.
Yeah, using
3, 2,
the increments of 5.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel if we win the turnover battle +2 or more and can contain the non-Ryan Williams wide receiver and don't get called for dumbass penalties or ghost SEC, ACC ref penalties. Oh, stop. There's not going to be ghost penalties out there from the crew. If anything, what we've noticed over the years is that ACC officials are way worse than SEC officials. I would prefer, across the board, SEC officials to officiate every Florida State game against an SEC opponent. I would prefer an SEC crew every time we face an SEC opponent.
As long as they don't give the opponent one extra play for no reason.
Sure. But I would always want, because they play grown-ass man football in that conference, and they let them play grown-ass man football on the regular. Not constant flags for what appeared to be too harsh a hit. It's like, well, protect yourself. I mean, we're playing football out here. It's big, strong dudes.
Getting paid to do it.
Yeah, so let's go. It's funny, and that first week when the NFL starts and we're watching, we're watching the things that we see with the NFL football the day after watching all of the college football games. So the first weekend that they're married, it is such a stark contrast to how football is officiated from within the realm of the same sport.
Yeah.
Like, you watch a weekend's worth of college football games, and almost any time somebody gets hit really hard, you go, there's going to be a flag. And invariably, you see the yellow come flying into your screen.
Oh, and there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on Sundays, you watch a dude decapitate another dude, step on his testicles, give the throat slash signal afterwards, and a dance over his corpse. They're like, 2nd and 10. It's glorious.
And Dominic and Sue retired, man.
It's just great. You're like, oh, they're letting them play.
Well,
I forgot that's how those rules are in the NFL.
The one thing I'd say is the defenseless receiver penalty has been used more at the NFL level, and then apparently there's a point of emphasis, get ready for this, for sportsmanship in the NFL.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay. Just warning you.
They're not going to give us the nonsense.
Brace thyself.
They're not going to give us the nonsense. Listen, it's the NFL. Now, look, I mean, I've always said this about whatever celebration takes place in the NFL or college football. Have fun. It's a hard game, man. It's hard to score. Celebrate. You score. Celebrate away, man. It's hard to score.
2nd and 4, gain 8. Get up there and point.
No.
Point to the end zone.
That's just stupid, but it doesn't bother me. It's just dumb. It's like you just ignore it. Whatever.
It's a cornerback waving when the throw's over everybody's head.
You didn't do anything, man. The guy threw it out of bounds. But, yeah, that doesn't bother me. If the stuff that you got to call is when you are certainly going to provoke the sort of reaction you're seeking to avoid within the game. So, hey, man, I don't want to get too descriptive, but we've seen some things that you're like, man, no, we're crossing a line here into like no man can do that to another man and not expect that man to punch him in the face. So we're going to have to call that to keep you from doing that again, because that's the kind of thing that will lead to a clear the benches brawl.
Clubber Lang and Rocky 3 thought that was a little over the line.
Yeah, you can't spit on somebody and you can't hump their face while on the ground after a tackle.
As much as you want to, Christian Wilkins.
We're not doing that.
We can't do that.
Can't be boop, 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 boop. Christian Wilkins. That's Christian Wilkins. You can't do it.
Glad the camera got that.
But you gotta, if you want a high step from the 5 into the end zone, high step away. You want to gyrate with your teammates, not at somebody when you score, gyrate away. You want to do the centipede? Centipede. Millipede? Millipede.
Oh, all right.
You do whatever you got to do. It's okay. I'm fine with all of it. It's the stuff that's directed at another individual who's in a compromised position that we need to quickly flag, because that's going to lead to people getting taken out. As it should. As it should.
What would your sack celebration be? Edge rusher Jeff Cameron.
I don't know. I don't think I was never, that was never my thing. I don't think I'd have one. I don't think I'd have
You're an
one.
old school guy.
No, I don't think it's a matter of like, oh, act like you've been there before. I'm not even doing that. I'm just saying, like, I might celebrate with a teammate immediately, like the slap on the helmet with other guys. Because look, you as a defensive unit, you have to work so hard, and there's so many different levels of sacrifices that are happening for you to make that play on any given play, because you've also had to sacrifice. You've had to give it up so that somebody else could get the glory on a play. And once you've done that a bunch of times and you kind of have a big picture understanding of how this all works in tandem, then maybe you're a little bit more apt, I think, to walk over to your buddies and be like, yeah, bitches, look what we just did. That's always the way I felt about that. Like if when I was at safety and I had to come up against the run, I surely appreciated a linebacker taking on a block. I didn't need to see that fullback. You know what I mean? So I get to make that play, and it's 2nd and 11. I'm going to the dude who ate the lead block.
You're far too selfless for this exercise.
It's just true, though. I'm going to the dude that ate the lead block. You know what I mean? Now, it's opposite on the offensive end. The offensive end, you might get a little something after a touchdown. But the defensive end, oddly, I'm going to the guy that did wait
a minute. Offensive side. What? You're not running to the right guard? Who helped pick up the ET twist?
Yeah, no. I would listen on the offensive side. I know I should do that, but it's hard to make catches when you got somebody draped over you. You did a lot of work there yourself there. The windows aren't very big. You got to do some things.
Okay, so a TFL for a safety, you didn't do as much work as a tight end catching a touchdown pass over the middle. Is that fair?
It depends on the degree of difficulty for the catch. If
right,
it's
and Andy Reid's not your coach, so you're not wide open.
Right,
you had to work
right. If I'm running a simple waggle and they're scared to death about Tommy taking off, which they would have been when I played with him because he was a 4-3 guy and went on to play at Notre Dame in the NFL, he's just dumping it off to a wide open me. There's no reason to celebrate that. Really.
You wouldn't do the DX as the ball's in the air before you catch it.
No, but if you're making a one-handed catch, exposing ribs and getting taken out, you might get up with a little spinning do.
I think that's the next level. If you're so wide open, you do a celebration before you catch the pass.
You have to stop to do if you're doing the pistols as the ball's coming in, that's actually pretty funny. You better catch it. You better catch it. And then I'm reminded of poor Andrews dropping that ball.
Oh, no.
For Baltimore.
He can't wait to get back on that field.
Oh, man.
In snowy Buffalo.
Buddy, that was, I saw the replay again the other day. It's a toughie.
Lamar didn't help the cause.
It's not a great throw.
But I'm just saying, generally, the performance, it wasn't
the first
Lamar's
half,
best.
The first half was so uneven. It's the
Correct.
second. Yeah, it's the second half where he played well.
But really, the Andrews play is the play. It is. For example, in many cases, you look at the Buckner play. Bill Buckner. Everybody knows the game was already tied. They blew it.
Yeah, there was a lot that led up to that moment.
That was just a walk-off hit. The game was already blown. The save was blown. The game was tied. It was 2 outs, nobody on. They found a way for the game to be tied. It's not Buckner, man. But in the case of Andrews last year, I thought, ooh, this is Andrews. This is Andrews' day.
Yeah. I mean, he could use a quarterback to play good in the first half of a playoff game. I mean, at some point. That's the problem with being that good, that consistent through the regular season, year in and year out. When those losses happen, it starts to mount. And you're like, man, partner, I'm going to need you to be the guy that you've been for 16, now 17 games.
Come on, buddy.
It's a little frustrating. Molly, thank you for that. I love your show, listening in New Bern, North Carolina, hometown of KJ Sampson. Is KJ, let's hope. Come on, KJ. That's a come on, buddy. We've been waiting on his name to be mentioned with greater frequency. So let's hope that it is soon that we begin to, experience the growth and improvement and consistent play of Mr. Sampson, who we've been waiting on for a while. You might need a CBD gummy to relax, get some sleep, prepare yourself mentally and physically for the week ahead. We got to be on top of our game. So if you've got some, aches and pains, perhaps you aren't sleeping well, you just got stress in your life, understand that my friends at Cornbread Hemp making CBD gummies better than everybody else. Lab tested, USDA organic for safety and purity, most importantly. And you're saving when you order right now. Jeff Cameron Show listeners save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use code warchant at checkout. Cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Remember to use the promo code warchant. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning. Keeping you comfortable is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Ain't nothing but a G-Pod, baby.
I am 99% sure that is not how the lyrics go.
Well, you like remixes, right?
Of course.
Well, think of this as a Grassroots Coffee remix per se, because Grassroots Coffee is now in the single-serve coffee pod game.
Dude, those single-serve coffee pods and cups are weak sauce.
Not Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. They have more coffee in them than regular single-serve pods and cups.
Seriously?
And not only do they have more coffee, they have a built-in filter for better brewing. They fit in most Keurig machines, and they are fully compostable.
It's still the small batch, slow roasted coffee you love, so go to grassrootscoffee.com and get your box of G-Pods today.
Baby!
See? Remix!
Well, actually, that's more of an homage.
Grassroots Coffee, locally owned, locally roasted, and made for everyone, loved everywhere.
Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. So very good.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Side note, has not anything to do with football, but it was something to do with a Nole, former Nole anyhow, no longer a target of federal gambling investigation is always a good thing you'd like to read. It's so right now with Malik Beasley. Good news there. Thought he was going away, Tom. I thought he was going away, buddy.
Thought he was on a losing streak there.
I thought he was on his way to the clink with the way things were reading before. I'll just leave that there, though. It's nice to see. Hey, somebody do Tommy Fleetwood a favor and capture that lead so that he doesn't have to piss it away on Sunday. I don't want my man in the lead at any point going into a Sunday, and I know that tomorrow is only Saturday, but he has been sensational. He was sensational yesterday. He's been good again today. I'm like, Tommy, don't do this. You're putting yourself in position to win yet again.
Yeah, and we all know what's going to happen on Tommy's part, and we all know that the challenger is going to run him down. It's probably Scotty.
Well, he's within 3 strokes, so sure it would be Scotty. Yes,
right.
Yes.
Or another American, and you're just going to hear USA,
which is the dumbest thing in the world. It's just, oh my God, we're the dumbest.
Uncomfortably dense.
It's so stupid. It's
Folks.
ridiculous. It's not the Ryder Cup. It's a regular golf tournament, you clowns.
It's a month away. This is a singles event.
It's just
Will
the
you stop?
stupidest. It's just, we're so insane. Anyhow, that said, actually,
because then he'll go 4-0-1 in the Ryder Cup, because that's what he does. He doesn't win singles events, but he goes and plays out of his mind in the team events.
I actually like him and have met him and would like him to win, and so I don't want him in the lead because that's not going to happen if he is. His best chance is to be 2 back, play well, put yourself in a position, not even thinking about winning until maybe on the final hole, a birdie wins it for you. You're tied. Otherwise, all right, my man, you got nothing to lose. Let's go. But Cam Young actually has hawked him down and tied him today. Cam Young out here shooting a 62.
Oh, Cam did?
Yeah.
USA. They were doing that during Scotty and Rory's pairing yesterday on a Thursday.
Dumbest thing ever.
Folks.
Oh, yeah. They've been shot in the arm.
We're a month away.
That tournament and that golf course, I don't care about the tournament. I like the golf course, and I wish I could play it. I'm calling out to anybody there that would like to invite Tom and I to play Eastlake in Atlanta. Just saying.
I'd rather just tour the facility at that course.
No, Tom, don't. Let's not ruin this. So if we get the invite to play Eastlake, we're going to play Eastlake.
That's the bullet that you have that you spend, because there are many other courses. In terms of video game play, I cannot stand Eastlake. I do not like it one bit.
Oh, the video game.
Yeah, the course is ridiculous.
But it's so fun to watch. I like it.
It is. And that clubhouse with the Bobby Jones history inside, all the artifacts they have. It's a mini museum of sorts. I would love to have access to that. That would be so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I'd love to play it and then tour the museum. We'd go and have a grand time, sir. It would be fantastic. So back to us for a second, back to Florida State for a second. I've kind of done the gauging of the temperature every day this week, and I didn't plan on it, but I'm as excited as anybody else is for the upcoming season. Most of the time, my nerves have centered around seasons in which we were about to embark when we had a chance to win a championship. You know, when there's something, when you know you're good enough, when you're over there and you see it and you feel it and nobody can contain the enthusiasm for the greatness within, right? And we've seen teams like that. That 23 team was not thought of that way. They were thought of as very, very good. I remember speaking to one of an official over there at Florida State, I'll put it that way, who was at every practice, worked with the team in 23, and they said, you know, I don't know what this team's ceiling is, but they got a lot of really strong individual pieces that if they come together, this could be really good. And he kind of gave me that look, and I'm like, right. He's like, with this schedule, with the players, the caliber, this could be really good. But neither of us in the conversation thought that they were potentially a national championship good. So we were kind of nervous as in, maybe make a run at the ACC title, you know, like maybe which turned out to be the case. And I got pretty excited about that, but I still had certain question marks. 2013, on the heels of 2012, where we found it a little disappointing, but we didn't know the Jameis part of it. Like, you knew Jameis was great and the potential was there, but the
potential was great, and the spring performance was unbelievable.
Right? And everything you heard, and when you talk, and at that time I was talking to Jimbo Fisher, and I had a regular weekly conversation with him, and you know, he wouldn't shy away from praising Jameis, and I thought, well, that's about as good as it gets. You got an offensive expert who's an offensive mind praising a redshirt freshman quarterback, and not really deflecting those compliments that people were giving Jameis. I thought, well, that's probably a good sign. You know, it's probably a good sign, but I don't know if we felt burned. I think there was a lingering effect that we felt a little burned from the previous year.
Well, there was, and there were whispers that Jameis wasn't the greatest practicer. So you're like, all right, we know that he's going to make some amazing plays, but is he going to be consistent enough to take the mantle of this otherwise fully ready and operational army of awesomeness?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be the hindrance that sometimes puts you over the top, or does he have what it takes to not get in the way? And then not only did we know within a couple of quarters that he's not going to get in the way, he's going to advance it.
Famously, you know, you were at the corner pocket, and you were with Bill and a bunch of our other buddies, and I was in the stands. My dad and I had walked over in the deluge there in Pittsburgh and through the park, just getting drenched. And we got to our seats, and then obviously it became pretty evident that kid was special, because in, I don't know, a quarter and a half of play, you just saw wizardry, just lasers and a presence in the pocket. You're like, good God, this is just boom, 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 precision, everything. He was perfect. He was perfect. And I remember returning from Pittsburgh after we whooped Pitt's ass and landing here in Tallahassee, and then calling you, and then kind of seeing all of the people that you were with in the subsequent weeks. And the story was that you guys were just laughing at watching this guy just perform surgery.
Well, it was because there are several third and longs, and the camera would pan, and it became apparent within a couple of conversions that the camera was just going to pan to something good. So it's a great
He's
part.
probably hitting an open man
That's
or
right.
squeezing it in between 3 defenders perfectly.
Right.
Yeah.
You just watch the camera.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 13. Like, well, this is going to end up fine, everybody. And snap the ball, and then boom, there it is. Somebody's wide open, first down. Yeah.
So
wild.
That was, we haven't had a moment like that at quarterback since. Not one. Where you were like, woo, this is uniquely special. We've had a moment where we got excited about vast improvement from a player, most notably Jordan, but not where we're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, on that, this guy's going to be one of the all-time greats. No.
Oh,
but
no, not at all. I called you the night that he was great against LSU, and we were all excited, and I was saying, and in fact, I did a hit with you and Gene afterwards, and I was like, man, how about this? He's so much better than he was a year ago. He's such a different player. That was exciting. He didn't touch Jameis Winston.
No, but that performance in the moment, I was doing a watch along that day, and I was in New Orleans, about 5 miles from the stadium. We were doing the watch along, and I remember watching it on TV and just thinking, oh my God, LSU's throwing the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, he did everything.
Prepared.
Yeah, he knew pre-snap. That's where he had come such a great distance. It was awesome to see. I love to see hard work rewarded.
And
that
then
was
the
cool.
throw to Pokey where he takes it on the chin and they throw the flag for it, rightly so.
Yeah.
That performance just that gave me, okay, maybe it's not James Pitt, what is, but it gave me a similar feeling of discovery. Like,
Then you knew you had a chance to win a lot of games. Right?
Yeah,
you did. I don't know that we're going to have any kind of performance like that a week from tomorrow.
Anything in the neighborhood would be.
Well, it'd be stunning. But the point that I was making, and I'll put a ribbon on it here, is that when I tend to get nervous before a Florida State season is when I think they have something big to win, that there's something very significant at play. Most of the time, that equates to championships, whether it be a conference or national championship that I think they're in contention for. Then I get nervous because there's a lot to lose. The stakes are high, as De La Soul would say, and that makes you nervous. You're like, oh, man, no bad days at the office, guys. We've got a chance. That's changed with the format shift and the fact that there are so many teams that make the playoff now. But in yesteryear, that's the way it always was. This level of nervousness stems directly from the level of awfulness a year ago, and just how much better from that time to this time can they become, because I think it's important for the program, the university, the overall, the collective mindset of the fan base and these players, and for that matter, perhaps the head coach. There's a lot at stake here. Then you throw in all of the changes to Doak and, what's going on with the facility upgrades, and it's just, there's a lot on the line. So that's why I think I feel that kind of nervousness. It's not so much about a result as it is the biggest picture item.
I think I'll feel that way. I don't now. I think I'll feel that way for Miami. If you do what you're supposed to do on the road against Virginia, then the Miami game is critical.
Oh, it's
very
huge.
quicky, more than just for its own rivalry.
It ramps up. Yeah.
It puts you at 2-0 in the ACC driver's seat position to have a chance to go to Charlotte.
Also F Miami eternally.
Of course.
So there's always that.
I'm just talking about, you're saying nerves with expectations of achievement. Well, if you start 2-0 in the ACC, I'm going to put down a loss for now for Clemson, but that's okay. You could still suffer that and go play in Charlotte. And if you did, you could make the playoff, which to me, making the playoff this year even in a 12-team format would be like a Cinderella run to the 4-team format. I get there's more seats at the table, but from where we were, if you start 2-0 in the ACC, and we can rightfully discuss if Florida State can navigate the pit, trap moment and get to the bye week after Stanford and undefeated in the conference, I mean, at that point, you've got a clear shot.
You're daring to dream above and beyond what I think is reasonable currently.
That's fair, but what I'm saying is, though, those nerves will kick in if you're 1-0 in the ACC after you play Virginia and you got Miami coming to town, because all that is still possible in that week. It's all right there in front of you.
Well, I get excited about that game almost no matter what. I didn't last year for obvious reasons, but yeah, for the most part, always, yes, that would ratchet that up. I absolutely agree. My friend Shannon Young, you guys know, best in the business. He's with Cross Country Mortgage. Better rates when you go with Shannon, better options, stronger support, faster response. He's in 7 states currently: Florida, Georgia, Bama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. I know he's back in Tallahassee as we speak. Shannon is so loyal to Florida State and so diehard to Florida State football that he moves back temporarily in season to Tallahassee. That's a true story. He bought a property so that he could have time to live here and do his work here to support the Noles when it's football season.
That's cool.
It is true, and it's cool. It's very cool. You can find out more about how he can help you get the loan you need to purchase the home you want. Loansfornoles.com. That is loansfornoles.com.
Your local news now.
Leon County is closing part of Old Plank Road near Chicken Branch Culvert starting September 2nd for 45 days. The road is expected to be closed Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The southbound traffic on the road will be redirected to Tram Road, and northbound traffic will be detoured to Natural Bridge Road. The section of Old Plank Road that is expected to be closed is 6.4 miles long. The county said the road closure is part of the Old Plank Road at Chicken Branch Culvert replacement project. The replacement project is also part of an initiative to improve stormwater infrastructure and address ongoing drainage issues. Leon County added that the issues previously made the road impossible to pass through after severe storms. Crews plan to replace stormwater cross drains in the road with new concrete box culverts, which Leon County says will improve drainage and increase public safety. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jillian Preddy. Temperatures are starting to rise to the upper 80s to low 90s, and that's where we'll stay for the rest of today. However, there's going to be lots of shower activity to help it feel like the upper 80s throughout most of the area once you have that downpour over you. And these downpours are going to be fairly slow moving, so if you find yourself underneath one, could be providing some isolated flooding across the area, but for the most part, going to be seeing lots of showers and storms through today and through the weekend, dropping temperatures to the upper 80s through Saturday and Sunday.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Wow, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
But they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I would...
Is that the Muppets?
A little bit of the Muppets there.
I think that was the finish. The flourish was the Muppets.
The old men in the rafters were...
Yeah.
Every time that they would cut in that the span over, it was perfect. It was just perfect. Yeah, I missed a question in here. My guys, we are here. Got one for you. If our D-line is not stepping up, why is Amari with a tight end squad? Like Landon came back, hitting the ground, be running the coaches playing mind games a little there. I think I read that correctly.
Basically, the idea being Amari Williams, wouldn't he be deployed on defense often if they felt like they were super thin? But the answer to that is he is working with both sides consistently. That is the word out of camp. That
I was just about to say he's playing both ways.
It is. I don't know if it's as aggressive as the Travis Hunter and Jacksonville plan, but he's not being used solely on one side of the football as they're prepping for this game. But it's a great point because Amari's not a name that's brought up often in that rotation. As we're talking about being thin, even if he's a third down specialist, that is a situation that you will take it. You will take that player on the field, and then you allow Deontay McCray to play first and second down. And if you combine those two as one entity with Darrell and James Williams and Jason Jenkins, all right, now you've got the makings of a beginning of a defensive front that you can get in and out.
I'm really interested to see how Tony deploys his personnel, and I think that that's the one thing I've not been able to speak on with any degree of certainty at all, not having seen practice, and then them not being anywhere close to where they need to be by this game back in the spring. So back in the spring, again, there's a lot of teaching going on, and Gus didn't have his guys out there, so you couldn't get a sense of what any of this was going to look like, and of course we haven't been there in the fall. So you don't have a sense of what it's going to be. And I just think that you look back at his past, you look at places he's been. He's not been afraid to deploy that personnel week to week in different ways based on the matchup. And so that's exciting, but B, it does leave you kind of shrouded in mystery a little bit here. There's only so many guys that you have, and we kind of have an idea of the crooks of that personnel, but I am fascinated to see, especially if you're talking about a team that really wants to hit you in the face and run the football.
Well, Robert brings it up too, and he says, remember about Jaden Jones? They got him yes, and he was one of the studs of early camp, one of the stars, most mentioned players in the early part of camp. I think they've got enough people on the edge. If you add Jaden to the mix, and Amari could be a specialist, and actually what Amari talked about being when he was speaking to the media a week ago was that he will be a passing down jack linebacker. That is when he will be brought on the field specifically for that situation, which I don't know that he was supposed to share because that's awfully specific.
It's awfully specific, yeah.
But, okay, so Amari there in a specialist situation, but you have Jaden and you have James Williams, and you have you could move Darrell out there if you want to. You got at least one of the Desirs. You probably have 4 options at edge / jack, depending upon the moment. It's the interior. That is the concern to me. It's not that they don't have enough bodies to play out on the edge. The interior guy, beyond Darrell, is it the aforementioned KJ Sampson? Is it Daniel Lyons?
Daniel Lyons, I'm hoping, was largely excluded from the conversation this camp because I think he missed, from what I can tell, significant time with injury. Like when you're not being mentioned repeatedly, there's 2 different ways to go about assessing that, right? If you're not talked about and every player that's within the segment group is talked about more than you and you're healthy, that's problematic. See Shaheem Brown. That every day that went by, they weren't giving things away, but they talked about every other member of that secondary but Shaheem Brown. That led me to wonder, is he hurt? And, you start inquiring, is he out there? Is he hurt? Is there a problem? And
I got to tell you, Ashlyn Barker's making some inroads, guys. Smoke White,
on and on, right?
Fantastic work there.
So they would go on and on about it, and I'd go, ooh, that is messaging that lets you know Shaheem is in the doghouse, that he is not doing what they need him to do, and they don't want to reward him with any sort of positive commentary. Don't have to tell me what you're doing, but it is interesting you'd mention the entire segment group repeatedly and not him. So there's that. And then there's the other side of it, which is you're trying to obviously not disclose, guys that are hurt or banged up and that you think will come back. And it's not a matter of you not getting the work done. It's just a matter of you couldn't be out there and they weren't sure when you were coming back. I feel like Daniel Lyons fits in the latter. At the beginning, I thought he was being almost sort of alienated in the same way that Shaheem was, 2 different position groups. But now he's made a reappearance in comments anyhow. There have been a couple times Daniel Lyons' name has been mentioned.
Correct. And yes, for injury reasons and otherwise, I think there's been a ramp up there. But he's critical, especially with Juju Wynn not being available.
But that's what I mean. He is critical. They got to hope that he's right and ready to go and that this was just a problem of him being banged up in camp early on and they're ratcheting him up as we head towards the Alabama game.
And I think they want to move Darrell around. So it would be nice to have Daniel so you could potentially put the 2 of them out on the field together.
Yeah.
That's the other thing here is I'm assuming that Darrell's going to play closest to the ball for most of the game. Tony doesn't work like that always. In fact, he's unpredictable by trade. So it may not be that your largest body is over the football because they want to create some sort of lane for a linebacker. This is going to be one of the hardest things to break down on the fly. You'll have the Alabama evidence, but that might mean nothing for Virginia.
Well,
and that both of those things might mean nothing for Miami. It's going to be very difficult week to week, which makes it all the more difficult on the opponents in theory.
Fun for us, though, because I like delving in the next day. I like jumping in and watching the game again when I'm learning on the fly certain aspects of what Tony's doing. I mean, we've not seen a defensive coordinator week to week to week to week to week whose core principles are a 3-3-5. We've not had that here. We've gone up against it. And, in a single sample size, what it looked like. But you don't know how he's going to deploy his personnel and the different schemes that he's going to utilize from within it because we haven't seen it week to week over week. And, he's got to know what's coming from Alabama. Not much is going to change year over year except for the quarterback. But what they're going to do, what DeBoer's going to do, and what that offensive line suggests they're going to do seems pretty self-evident. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 373031.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine. And we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
Number CCC 1335048.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Major League Baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays fell to the St. Louis Cardinals 7-4 at Steinbrenner Field on Thursday night. The start of their 3-game series. Starting pitcher Joe Boyle
gave up 6 runs over 4 innings, dropping to 1-3. Yandy Diaz hit a 2-run home run in the loss. Tampa Bay has lost 4 in a row. They'll continue that series with the Cardinals tonight. NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars facing the Miami Dolphins on Saturday, the final preseason game. Trevor Lawrence not expected to play. Rookie Travis Hunter also will not be participating due to an upper body injury. The teams took part in a joint practice this week. Pass rusher Kalen Saunders, who the Jags acquired from New Orleans, is expected to see playing time. Tampa Bay will wrap up their preseason Saturday hosting Buffalo. The Bucs are 2-0 in preseason play. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. I'm Tony Desiri, Real Talk 93.3.
This is your invitation to the Kohl's Friends and Family Sale, hand-delivered to your speakers. Get 20% off your favorite brands, including Yankee Candle, Cuisinart, Lee & Carter's. So when someone says, I love that candle, you can say, thanks, I got it at the Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. They personally invited me. Yep, consider yourself a VIP. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 24th. See store at Kohls.com for details.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Apply now and save with no application fee through September 3rd. Visit umgc.edu to get started. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Go custom with your window coverings with help from Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Budget Blinds brings their showroom to your home with dozens of color and pattern choices. Just tell them what you love and they'll make it happen. From designing custom draperies and Roman shades to color matching your blinds and shutters.
I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds Tallahassee, where you get beautiful style and expert service for any budget. Call 668-4835 for a free consultation online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Appreciate you being here. It is the day before, eve of college football getting underway. And that is a glorious, glorious thing. How you starting the day tomorrow, Tommy?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How you starting the day tomorrow, buddy?
Unclear at this time, if you're asking me to be honest. I'm not sure. I've taken my foot off the gas pedal for extenuating circumstances for my plan, but I'm hopeful to still
So you're even at this late hour.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if I'm going on the pub crawl, it's because I'm waking up really early and getting on the road tomorrow.
Okay.
That's, unfortunately.
I am just figuring that the vast majority of you, is this the day, guys, that you go out and you get your yard work done so there's none to do tomorrow? Because that's, I did it yesterday before the football game that I attended. So I wanted to be sure that I didn't feel the pull of everything being organized outside, so that if I'm outside for any reason, not watching football for a second, for example, and even then I would be watching football, it would be because I'm grilling. It would be because I go out on the deck and I can see the 100-incher from out there and watch the game while doing a bunch of grilling, just a bunch of different things. You see what I'm saying? It's the way it should work. And then I'll have a cooler in both the deck area, and then you know what I'm saying? I'm setting this up.
All right, so you have garage fridge, you have indoor beer fridge, but you'll still set up coolers for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's a special day.
It is.
Well, garage fridge beers, I was having this discussion before the show with our mutual friend John in there. I said, look, the garage fridge beers, it's sort of I keep those light. For the most part, those are light beers, because those are the kind of beers you tap into when you're doing said yard work and you're outside and it's hot and sweaty. Now, wintertime, that might shift. Wintertime, there may be some porters out there. There may be a stout or two out there, something like that, to go along with the others.
Absolutely. Watch the kids play one-on-one basketball.
Something like that, yeah. Enjoy myself with a little music out there, doing some other types of work, not yard work. Yeah, then you need something a little bit more sophisticated. But right now, it's largely just domestic. I'll be honest with you out there, that middle row, for a football set. Yeah.
This implies there are 3 rows.
Oh, yes, I do have 3 rows. And the top row is the lightest of the light beers. So that could be like a Coors Light, or even, like in some cases, like a Tall Boy Natty Light. Or something.
All right.
Yeah, just something
For
really
this
light.
temperature, Natty,
it's 100 degrees,
now.
something like that. So you have that beer, that really light beer, and you never know who's going to come over. So it'll be like your classic domestic, like a Bud Light, Miller
It wants
Light,
to be in the
Coors
fridge.
Light. Yeah, it can't wait.
It doesn't want to roam.
Yeah, of course.
It wants to be in the fridge.
It can't wait to clean. But yeah, there's all of that, and then I'll have the Tall Boy Natties for in case back in the day, in case Millar swung in, something like that. Those would all be right there. Post. You're sweating from the driveway work, the edging and the trimming and all the stuff. Then, and you got to have a TV out there too, so that when you're doing that, if there's a lesser tier game on,
okay,
and all the big ones start at 3:30 on, that's once you're in season big time. Not tomorrow.
And this is where I think this is the number one benefit to the streaming era, is it makes that so much easier than it used to be. Because for a long time it was, do you have a coax cable? If it can reach, if you can get a 50-foot cable, then you're covered.
Mm-hmm.
And CenturyLink started this years ago, where they had the wireless hubs that you could bring wherever you need in the house. But it just got better and better as time goes on. That is the one small victory in the streaming era, where you get dinged for $6.99 or $10.99 for all these things to get all your games. At least you can take it wherever you are with a giant television screen.
I like that. Florida man in Alabama wants to know, no summer shandies. Occasionally. I'll be honest with you. I know that my wife will have the high noons out there for her. And occasionally I'll partake in one.
Throw down with a high noon.
I will.
Far better than a seltzer.
Just to switch it up.
Yep.
Just to switch it up.
The tequila or the vodka?
I like both.
Yeah. Good answer.
I like both.
Good answer.
Not going to turn either one away. So then that's all that top row stuff.
Middle row you've been teasing. What's the middle row?
Okay, so the middle row, I'm going to be honest with you, as it's currently constructed.
Is it known as the Jalen middle row?
No, that's well done. It is all banquet beer.
Oh.
And
okay.
it's the shorties, snubs with the bottles, and they are lined beautiful. Oh, you almost want to take a picture of them. They're gorgeous. There's just hundreds of them. It's a deep fridge. It's just, look at them. And I will go by doing work and, I've got something going on. I go, drink that sucker, keep going. And just
where's your opener? Is it a magnet on the fridge?
On the fridge. I don't have.
You don't have one on the wall?
I don't have the workbench area by that fridge. So if I did, I would have it into the wood where I would just pop the top by the vise.
Yep.
So you have the vise set up.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have your bottle opener next to the vise where the recip saw over here. That's how that would work, where you just turn and go, and you start your thing. But that's not the way this fridge is set up. The ice box on the other side of the room, I got a big ice box too. That's where a lot of the meats are that I'm going to cook later. Take them out, get them ready to roll.
Wait a minute. The ice box?
Yeah, the big ice box.
So
down on the floor, it's just a big ice box.
Okay.
You lifted it up from it's from the overhead. You lift the overhead.
All right.
And then you look down in there, and there are steaks, and there are all kinds of varieties of seafood on the right-hand side. These are fillets over here, a little bit of chicken over here. And then I've got, it's various food items over here. So
in Northeastern nomenclature, the ice box is just a fridge.
Yeah, no, but this is different. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, it has a very pleasant white noise.
Yes, I like them. I wish they were in my room.
Yeah.
No, so then I have that ice box over here. I got the fridge over there. Anyhow, the way I set that up is the beers, that middle level is the banquet. And then the lower level, we get into the stuff that'll catch up on you. We get into some Cigar City High-Lives. We may get into...
Sorry, I'm starting to do the math on how many beers are in your garage fridge at any given moment.
Stays filled always. I make trips solely to replenish the garage fridge beers.
It sounds like 150 over under.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, sure. That garage fridge, when you God speak already. When you open that fridge and you see the down at the bottom, you'll see, okay, you got Cigar City Highlight right here, Two Hearted Ale right here. Oh, I love you, Two Hearted Ale. Then next to that, but you can't have too many Two Hearted Ales. You won't remember the games. They're awesome, but you won't remember the games. There's a direct, it's right there. The connection. You're like, I had one too many Two Hearteds. If you ever wake up on a Sunday and you can't remember the West Coast game that you watched, go check your garage fridge trash and see if there were too many Two Hearteds in it. Then you're like, oh, it got away from me. West Coast. Then you look down over to your right, and you're like, man, there was the Two Hearted. There's an 850 followed by a Cigar City. What was I? I must have been feeling it.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I can see where Christy looks at the trash and goes, well, they did lose to Duke for the first time in program history.
I don't have to do a post-game show. And I don't have to do an early morning Sunday show. And when we're losing 10 out of the 12 games that we play, the garage fridge gets abused.
I just like the idea of, so what did happen with Cal and Stan? Oh, Two Hearted. I'm just going to have to check it on the phone. I wonder who won.
You know what usually happens with that? And I'm better at it than I used to be. You go back maybe say 10 years, 13 years ago, every West Coast game got a little loose. That's not true anymore. I usually wake up remembering the West Coast games that I watched. But I will tell you, Tom, I will tell you that there were times where I got excited because the West Coast game that I had very little hope for turned into something special. And all of a sudden you're like, well, this son of a bitch is a good game. And you can't believe it. You're like, we're tied at 24, hon. I'm not coming to bed. Big drive from Cal right there. That was important. They've tied it up. What quarter is it? Early third. Okay, I'm going to bed. All right, I'll see you when I see you. I'm going to be up watching this game. She's like, you're going to be asleep in 5 minutes. No, I'm not. I'm making it. This is a great game. And I'm proud of those moments. That's when you might get the occasional 1:47 a.m. text.
Every once in a while.
Where it'll be like, are you watching this Cal-Stanford game? It's tied at 31.
My favorite is when I get one at 12:24. And you know damn well that our game didn't end till 11:40, and I'm still on the post-game show. And you're like, this Pac game is electric. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm in like the C block of the post-game show.
You gotta wrap it up, man. There's no reason to be talking for 2 hours after a game.
Text I get when I don't respond. You're like, You got to get to wrapping that show up. This game is amazing.
You are missing a game. You're missing a really good game. And by the way, ours was just another lopsided loss. You can't take that many calls.
That's the text. Yes, that's what I get. As I'm saying, we now go to Ralph. Ralph in Hawaii. Ralph, let us know. And
love you, Ralph. Wrap it up, baby
Ralph
boy.
To be quick.
Yeah,
so you could get to this game.
Dude, it was 17-0 to start the fourth. We're tied at 17, partner. Let's get on this watching. This is a good game.
When we have like the Alabama game, knock on wood, no weather delays, but 3:30, it'll be fine. I know I'm going to catch stuff. When it's a night kick, I'm not catching the West Coast games, but the fourth quarter. I make peace with that before we sign on to the postgame show.
Yeah.
We got to talk it out. You're in your world of peace. But we and the people need to talk it out after the game's over. And hopefully we are just commiserating over victories this year. Last year was a lot of therapy for all of us.
It was tough.
For all of us. It was group therapy.
I feel so while we're peeking behind the curtains, and it's changed some as I've gotten older and as Tom has gotten older and all that. But I got to be honest with you, the whole thing is this. Like last year got so disappointing. It would take a lot for us to have a late night text meaning both of us stayed up because we were fuming about something that occurred in one of our games. After a while, there's an apathy and a listlessness that sets in, a lethargy, if you will, for football viewing when it involves Florida State, when they're that bad. And this last year was one, the likes of which we've never experienced. We have literally never been involved in something like that. And I think that, everybody has different moments from last year. They've come up to me since it happened. But people have come up to me and said, what was it for you? What was the game? What was the moment? For a lot of people, it was the Duke game and the back-to-back-to-back turnovers.
That was just comedy at that point. For me.
Well, no,
for me.
That pissed me off because that Duke team was not great.
No.
Florida State should have and could have won that game. They didn't. Duke deserves the credit for being one of 10 teams to whoop our ass.
For accepting the turnovers we were willing to give them.
Yes. No, but I think that for a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's it. I can't do this. Because isn't that the same game where Luke throws a perfect pass?
Yeah,
it is a dime and it's a bomb and it's
his first deep ball in his career.
Portier drops it.
Yeah.
Because of course he did. And as soon as he dropped that and I watched that replay, I'm like, man, he could not have run up and placed it any better than that. And that hurt. But I think I was broken before then. I think the Memphis game was the one that was tough because the opening run, you push them 8 yards off the ball and you decide because you fumbled to go away from it.
Yeah, the Memphis game broke me because I knew what Memphis was. And you can't say that in a post-game setting when you just lose to them. I know they're terrible. And the answer in the moment of the angry fan base in all caps is, well, then what are we? And I'm like, worse.
We're worse
than terrible.
We're worse.
But we have more talent than they do. And you don't want to hear that right now. But we have gobs more talent than that team that we just played. And they smoked us. And his former program came into his house and beat him.
Oh, it was tough.
That's one hell of an optic. And the SMU game pissed me off, too, because I knew that they were not nearly what the rankings suggested and what the hype. And look, I get it. A new team on the block is fun. People like to spend time on something new. That's why SMU had its own little thing last year. Arizona State did.
Yeah.
People attach themselves to somebody entering the conversation. But Jennings never looked impressive. And that was another instance of us getting in our own way and totally short-circuiting. The DJU doubled down on the run and then the Morlock off the face and interception. We're in that game.
By the way,
it was a 1-2 punch.
DVB, my moment was cluelessly going for 2 against Memphis. That told me we were desperate and pathetic. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was stupid. Jeffrey writes, how about after the Ireland game against Georgia Tech? I thought that was like a fluke. The Boston College game broke me. Knew we were in real trouble.
Was that Irish right there? Broke me ear?
I think so. I'm going to tell you that after we lost to Georgia Tech, I don't know that I thought we were going to be a bad football team. I like that Georgia Tech offensive line. I think Haynes King is a good quarterback for college. and I think they're well coached. I was certain we weren't going to be a real good team, but I didn't think we could possibly be as bad as we ended up being. But I had a rather lovely walk from Aviva Stadium all the way back to where we were staying, which is a several-mile walk.
Mm-hmm. That's a good walk.
3-mile walk. I so thoroughly enjoyed that walk. It may be one of the greatest post-loss experiences I've ever had. I walked out of Aviva. Weather was perfect. It was downright chilly. Had to put on the pullover. And I walked down the street watching Georgia Tech fans, a few that were there, celebrate. I saw the bars, the pubs get packed. I had no equipment that I had to worry about except for my laptop, my computer, which was over my shoulder, and my computer bag. And I calmly walked and enjoyed the cool breeze, contemplating what I had just seen and the experience we had just had. I remember thinking, you'll never do this again. You got to cover your team, your program in Ireland, in Dublin, Ireland, from Aviva Stadium with perfect seats. Yeah, the game didn't go the way we wanted, but you were with people you love. You got to see and do things that so many people would love to do. I got to host that pregame show with Bjorn Warner. I got to do that show with you and then do the stage thing with Bjorn Warner with the Q&A, which was fun.
That place was awesome.
Interviewing him.
Low-key, the food was some of the best food we had on the trip,
It was fantastic. And so that was cool, and I enjoyed talking with Bjorn, and we got to talk about the origins of Von Stryker and the whole thing. And then walking through the streets there, and just, I love that country. And I was thinking, well, along the way, because this is going to be quite a walk, I had checked my phone. It was like, whatever it was, 3.2 miles. And I was like, I'll pop in one of these pubs and have a Guinness. And I did. And then I would get into a conversation with somebody who was local and kind, and they'd talk about, oh, you came over? Yeah. And we talked about whatever, right? And then I would leave, and then I would walk a mile, and I'd go, I'm going to stop in that pub too. And I'd go into that pub, and I'd have another Guinness, and I would talk to more local people, and they were fantastic and kind, and we had wonderful conversations. And then I walked almost all the way back to where we were staying, and I had one more stop at a pub. And so just 3 or 4 Guinness on the way home and a leisurely walk with perfect weather. I'm like, you're not going to beat that after a loss. There aren't too many times where you're going to be that calm and just reserved and rather enjoy the experience. It wasn't until...
But the walk itself is, I mean, people say, like, for therapy or whatever, I know one of your buddies is a behaviorist. And, in terms of early childhood raising kids, like, if you need a minute into the crib the child goes, just take a lap around the block. It does a world of good for clearing the mechanism. The long post-game loss after a loss walk is an important thing. If you haven't discovered it yet, hopefully you don't need to.
Can't do it in the early portion of the season because it's 100 degrees.
That's correct. But I recall walking home from a loss to Kirby Freeman and Miami. This must have been 2007, where we had Drew and X, and we were spiking the ball into the ground by the end of the game, and we were trying to move the ball down the field.
Ridiculous throws.
Front row, student section, between the goalposts. Awesome seats. And we lost that game. We had Colin McCarthy had a fumble return for a touchdown. He went to high school with me. For the Canes, of course, I walked all the way from the stadium without breaking stride to San Luis and Tharp. That's an hour and a half's walk that I took. And
you had to let it go.
The game hit triple zeros. I didn't say goodbye to my friends. I was out the tunnel and gone. And that was the best hour and a half I could have spent, because that night, as I watched the rest of the college football slate, I was at peace. But if I didn't have that walk and I went straight back to a tailgate and started pounding drinks, that would have been bad news. So go for the walk.
Especially when the weather's nice. Or find another game. Find another if it's early enough in the day, you can always find other games and just be like, all right, you know what? They're playing a good brand of football. I'm going to watch that.
Tech, when Marcus Sims fumbled.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. That one hurts me.
That night, show contributor Chris and I went out in Atlanta and watched Texas at Texas Tech. And it was the Michael Crabtree catch at the buzzer.
Play the clip just because it's too good.
Crap.
I mean, but it's so perfect. No. It's the commentator. It's the play-by-play. Crabtree sucking these balls is the line that you always want to.
Yeah, that's funny. We have 2 Crabtree
That's the Crabtree one you want.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
And he sure did for the Red Raiders.
It never gets old.
That's one of the great calls in Brent Musburger's career because clearly he had money line Texas Tech.
Oh, the actual game, yeah.
Yeah.
The other part, by the way, of that clip that you cannot hear, I recorded that and sent it to Tom so that we would forever have it. If you go back and listen to it again, if all the way through we couldn't, for the purposes of this, for the clip purposes, you can hear the color analyst laugh into the mic because he recognizes immediately how that sounded. He chuckles. He goes, oh. And I got to give what's his name credit for not.
It's Ian Eagle.
Yeah.
He just goes for it. Why?
You're like, buddy,
I'm already in. My voice is gonna shudder.
I don't know how it didn't occur to him. He's that innocent.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
Like, when would you have been able to gather yourself as the color analyst to comment on Crabtree's greatness
after the next down?
It would have been like a couple of plays, right? Like,
he's getting himself out of this one.
Yeah,
you're the one that needs to, after this, go 1st and 10 at the 17.
Pitch and Penny Pools and Spas has everything you need for pool maintenance: chemicals, cleaners, pumps, vacuums, nets, covers. You name it, you've got it. We know they have the largest selection of premium hot springs hot tubs in the entire city, which is awesome. But the Hot Springs Group has decided to jump in the cold plunge business. Health benefits being proven. They say, yep, we got a tub for you. We already make the best hot tub. Now we got the best cold plunge tubs. You can find all of the various types right there off of Greer Street. Go check out Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. It's an amazing warehouse of the best in luxury. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas. If you're ready to relax, they're ready to show you how. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachia Parkway.
Florida man, why are you hobbling around like you got body slammed by a palm tree?
Well, I was boarding the house up for the hurricane, and Hank, my alligator, thought he would help.
Your alligator was helping?
Well, he was holding the ladder with his tail, but a gust of wind hit me like a jet ski at full throttle. Next thing you know, I'm airborne, plywood in hand, landing in the palmettos.
Florida man, have you been keeping up with your chiropractic adjustments?
I fell off track just like I fell off the ladder. Now my spine's more crooked than a pirate's treasure map.
Look, just like you prep your house for a hurricane, you gotta prep your body for the health storms life throws at you. Don't wait till your spine's blowing in the wind. Take action now.
You're right. I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic faster than Hank goes after a marshmallow.
Go to finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com. That's finnchiro.com. Book your appointment now and take advantage of that online special.
I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic boogity boogity. Hank, get out of the cooler. That's for the hurricane party.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? It says, keep off the grass. Oh, but I just wanted to feel it. Excuse me? I wanted to feel what it was like to have an amazing lawn like you do. It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn.
For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567.
Stay off my lawn.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
For most families, your home is your biggest investment. That's why Joel Higgins built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient information with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports.
Probably one of the most common things that we find is a water heater drain line. It's meant to be plumbed a certain way, and a lot of the times in a retrofit situation where they replace the water heater is a different size. Lots of times they'll say, I had no idea, and it's the home that they live in, and they walk past these things every day. They're not even aware that it's a danger, much less that it's even there.
Protect your family's biggest investment. Call ACL.
Having your HVAC system operating properly is probably the biggest thing for high temperature events. So I always recommend a service agreement with a local HVAC company that will come twice a year and clean and service your HVAC system. And they can spot problems.
Call today, 850-312-8919.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You seen Jameis's brother play at wide receiver?
Oh.
Have you looked at the tape?
Clips here and there.
Yeah,
Jonah?
I've not looked up Jonah.
He's not like a high blue chip or anything like that.
No, I think he's a 3-star or 2-star, right? Whatever he is. I'd take him. Immediately on the spot. If there's any of the greatness in there, you got to take a flyer.
Oh, you got 100 openings now.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do it? Right? You just by chance. What if he's a late bloomer?
Did you see the W from last night?
With them, with Jackson Dart eating the W,
and he stares right into the camera with Jameis.
You know, it's funny if you watch the Jameis clips and what Jameis has posted, and he's accepted his role as this mentor for younger players and for younger quarterbacks, and he knows that obviously the Giants drafted Jackson Dart for him to be the future. I wonder, if you're Jameis. I mean, there is a chance right here, right now, as we are late in camp, to be somebody's starting quarterback. There are teams that can clearly recognize, obviously, that they don't have a quarterback. And that if you were about the process of winning games, now I'm not so sure that everybody is. But, for example, if you're a team that has a chance to compete for a championship, but would need to be able to survive a stretch of, say, 3 or 4 games without your starting quarterback, or in a pinch, somebody goes down in a second half of a game and you need a guy not to be a caretaker, but that could make winning throws and win you a game. He may make mistakes, but he's the kind of guy that has shown it and proved it before. A good candidate would be the Detroit Lions, who do not have a viable backup quarterback, for example. They already have in place everything you need, right? They run the football. They're very physical. Jameis could come in a situation like that and carry you for a 2 or 3 week stretch if you needed to. And so I would think that if you're him or his agent, as this plays out, you would maybe make an effort, because they've got so many quarterbacks on that roster for the Giants. I would think that would be something. If you're not the backup, I would take it on down the road somewhere. It
was odd that they had signed him and then they went and got Russ right after it. But they have an asset to trade.
They do have an asset to trade. And now if I'm the Giants, I'm telling Russ to have a good day. He's a cornball and he's shot. But, I would have Jameis around. I would tell Russ to get the hell up out of here.
So you have seen the clip. This is the one I got on the screen.
I've seen it.
Just the stare down. He knows where the camera is. It's perfect.
But do you also realize how much they love him? It is so clear how much they love him. And listen to them talk about him. And then listen to Jameis talk about them after the game, where he's talking about how good the young quarterbacks are and how good Jackson is and all this stuff. And so there's a spot in Detroit. In truth, there's a spot in New Orleans to be a starting quarterback. They don't have one, not on the roster. At the same time, I don't know that the Saints want one. I think the Saints are interested in being that team on the clock.
Yeah, that is correct. And if you're the Giants, I mean, what's the greater value right now or in week 4 or week 5 when somebody suddenly loses a starter and they're desperate? Like, would you get a greater return from Detroit now, or if Detroit has an injury at the position and it's long term? You would get a much greater haul if you just wait.
If I'm Detroit, though, I know that too. And I think I'm probably making a play to do what I can to make sure that situation, you want that situation secured before you go. I mean, it could be week 1, second half.
Yeah.
You may need a guy to go in right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they let the bridge go. I don't know what that's about, but I'm glad we have him in Tampa. It just got better in the quarterback room there.
Let's do the red zone. I am eager to do so. And, of course, always love it when we do, because the sounder alone is enough to make me smile. Fire away, sir.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Golly, hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burned the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North. South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
It's good to know.
It is indeed, and I would suggest that you reach out to our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. This is a group that has a lot of resources in which to help out, protect you and your family from rising healthcare costs, coach you into the retirement red zone, baby, and make sure you score while you're there. Plan ahead. Get ready to punch it in with the team at Artisan Financial Strategies. Adam, who you know well, a fellow Knoll, and his team there are prepared to ensure that you have enough to retire with and protect yourself. So that's what you want to do. Let's do this thing right now. First down, Tom, what you got?
Yeah, I know. It just occurred to me 10 seconds ago that I'm supposed to be cultivating questions here. First down.
I like the honesty.
Yep, but it's okay. I'm always ready, and we're on the precipice of football. So for first down, between the following candidates, Amari Williams, Jaden Jones, a Desir twin, who has the biggest impact in the Alabama game?
You said Jaden Jones, a Desir twin,
or
Amari Williams?
That is correct. Yep.
Amari Williams.
Okay. Feel good about that answer?
No. Amari Williams is my answer, but I don't feel good about it.
All right.
I don't think it's going to be Jaden Jones, Tom. Let's just
that's what I was kind of asking.
I'm not buying that.
Because I know you don't buy the Desirs. So
it's not that I don't buy the Desirs. It's just that
Yeah.
I think one of the Desirs seems to be ahead of the other Desir, which has been noted. And so maybe that Desir will play a little bit more than we expected coming into camp. Amari's a known commodity, a freak of an athlete. They may have something dialed up for him on both sides of the ball. So sure.
Second down, more of an impact in the game against Alabama. Jalen Lucas, Mekhi Danzy.
Oh, I like that question because I think both are going to play a role. I really do. I think that they're going to find a way to get Mekhi.
Special teams can count.
Yeah, that's a really good question because I think the answer is tough for the good reasons. You know, it's not like you asked about two guys that I think are irrelevant to Florida State's success. I think you were asking about two guys that may very well have an impact on the game for the positive. Both are playmakers. They're going to be used, I think, in a unique fashion. In some ways, we might call that gadgety. I don't know, but that's a good question. I'm going to go with Micah Danzy, but I don't feel great about that either. That's a good question.
Third down. I can promise you one of the two things, but you must choose only one. The other will not happen. Deuce Robinson, 2 touchdown catches against Alabama.
Oh, boy.
Jerry Wilson, an interception against Alabama. Which you taking?
Oh, which do I want?
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a preference?
Yeah. You can only choose one of these things to occur, and it will occur in the Alabama
game.
Well,
give me the 2 touchdowns from Deuce.
Well, I was wondering if you would say, well, it's redundant. The offense might score 2 touchdowns. Give me a turnover.
No, I don't think it's that redundant. We couldn't score 14 points per game last year in a football season. Give me the 2 touchdowns.
All right. So you're doubting the offense.
It's Alabama. I mean, Come on, man. I'm taking 2 certifiable touchdowns from our star receiver. That's a really good sign that portends of future success.
4th down. Not my best 3rd down. If Tommy Castellanos runs for blank yards, I feel good that Florida State will win the football game. What say you?
189.
That's what it would take. That's what it would take.
I think he's going to have to run like the wind blows.
189?
I'm picking Bama. I think Bama's going to win the game.
God. I was thinking 105, 112. He needs to run for 325 yards.
He's going to have to be a real pain in the ass. I mean, I don't think he's going to have a prolific day through the air. So, man, I mean, I might be being a little facetious here, but yeah, like 125 plus. Let's just, if I'm being, buddy, this is a 65-25 sort of deal, I think, in running the football. So they're going to have success on the ground. Lee, I think you're right too, by the way. Throw Comas, our mutual friend. Throw Croma in there too. I mean, yeah, he's got to have let's go.
The dad guys with me is like, I had 105 too. Because if he runs for 105, then your read option game has come to life.
Yeah.
And other guys are hitting.
Yeah.
All right, 5th down. My down, not a fan down. If Florida State were to give 30 carries to the running backs in the game against Alabama, how do you think between Roydell, Sawchuk, and Croma they're going to split it? Not how would you split it? How do you think it would play out? 30 carries, those 3 guys, who gets what?
16, 10, and 4. And I'd go 16 with Croma.
Wait a minute. You think they're actually going to do Croma is going to get this is what you think is actually going to happen?
I think Croma is going to introduce himself to the Seminole Nation with a grand entrance. He is a dude.
Okay.
And I don't think they're going to be bashful about using said dude. They invested a lot of money in him. And this is why you bring in a guy that you paid that much to, is that he's a star. And he's also strong as hell. He's kind of a freak. And now I'm not talking about breakaway speed. He's not that. But he'll bitch dudes and run through tackles. So I don't think there's going to be gaping holes for our running backs to run through by which you would take the speed guy because you might have a home run.
Right.
I think you're going to have to earn it between the tackles. In many cases, you're going to have to find a way to get that 3 and 4 yards. I think Croma is going to be the guy. And then from there, I don't, not having seen practice, I don't know how much the other 2 are splitting. I think Roydell is certainly in that group of 3. Sawchuk is a guy that I got excited about when they brought in. His body type is not such that I think he would be the lead dog. But yeah.
You want another one?
No, I just
I got one.
Well, go ahead and give me one more, but we're up against it.
How about this one, Jeff? What's more likely to happen? Ryan Williams, under 75 yards receiving, or Jake Weinberg, field goal from 55 plus? What's more likely to happen in the game? Ryan Williams, under 75 yards receiving.
No, Weinberg.
Weinberg, field goal from 55 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Not attempted, but made.
Yeah, I think he could make a 56 yarder or something like that. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
All right. Going with the kicker.
I don't think we're going to stop Ryan Williams from getting his. At
what point would you take the under for Ryan Williams? What number? Player props.
110.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say 189 yards.
I think he's going to have one really big. I think he's going to score on a long pass. I think he's going to make a big play.
Cost of doing business.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player. I have a feeling that he's going to make a lot of people look awfully bad. But that's fine. I'll live with that. He as long as it doesn't happen 3 and 4 times in a game, then I'll feel pretty good. But yeah, he is a special dude, and
you don't want to be saying again with the Ryan Williams again. You don't want to be saying that.
No, it would. I mean, he's a true sophomore, and he had nearly 1,000 yards last year with a quarterback who couldn't throw. He also had 8 touchdowns as a freshman. I mean, dude's got a little something to him. We all saw it. That catch against Georgia is the dumbest thing ever. You're like, whoa, dude, how's a body move that way? That's incredible. Yeah, he's special, man. Special players show up in these big moments, and I think he will here too. It's unfortunate. You know, we were to read this week that Alabama, a rash of minor injuries, strain this, strain that, going to miss the opener.
Stomach flu.
Just something minor that wouldn't be tragic. But alas, that's a weird way to go into a game, hoping against hope that people suffer from the stomach flu before they play us. Our thanks, as always, to our friends at Artisan Financial. We appreciate you very, very much. And Artisan Financial Strategies, noretirement.com. You guys know Adam and his crew, the best in the business. Artisan Financial Strategies. Come back, wrap up the hour in a moment.
First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jillian Preddy. Temperatures are starting to rise to the upper 80s to low 90s, and that's where we'll stay through the rest of today. However, there's going to be lots of shower activity to help it feel like the upper 80s throughout most of the area once you have that downpour over you. And these downpours are going to be fairly slow moving, so if you find yourself underneath one, could be providing some isolated flooding across the area, but for the most part, going to be seeing lots of showers and storms through today and through the weekend, dropping temperatures to the upper 80s through Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You'll get a live third hour next week, guys. This is not one of them coming up. But it's all right. It was done just, an hour before we walk through here, so it's live enough, buddy.
What you're hearing is Jeff taunting you with eating a W, like Jameis last night. There it is.
I'm just saying. There's plenty.
It is new content.
Yeah, it's from today. They're celebrating a 42-10 win in preseason. Libations now, fellas. The responsible adult sign is off. I wish, buddy. I wish, but it is not to be, as that is an FCC violation. One that we've broken before, I think, just not on the air. I think it's been sort of a video-only thing.
We vetted this. I don't actually think it's an FCC violation anymore.
In that case...
Not right now.
No.
Not this guy.
You couldn't do it right now.
No. If we were shooting Pepto, I got you.
Buddy, I'm worried about you.
Me too.
You'll be okay.
No, it's just this.
But whatever's going through your system is
6 days of this. It's insane.
Our boy Tom is having some stomach issues without getting into details, and it's rather unpredictable and disconcerting, and it's never ending is the part of it. So you hang in there.
Yeah, according to AI, the FCC does not have a rule. I'm trusting AI on this one because I like the answer. It's like finding the parent who tells you yes.
Well, that's good because all those years ago at AJ Sports Bar and Grill when I did live shows, I certainly didn't adhere to that rule, by the way.
You and Maddie had an all-timer of a Friday show the day before I graduated in 2010. It was Mark Stoops was just announced as the defensive coordinator.
And I broke that news.
Yeah.
Because I had called... The reason that happened, no, I did. The reason I got a call from somebody who was from Youngstown, Ohio, who had just run into one of the Stoops who said, yeah, he's going to Florida State. And then that person called me and was like, hey, heads up, man. You guys are hiring Stoops. And I said it on the air. And so we went with it and had fun with that. And then I remember there was a scramble. His people were like, how the hell? Like, oh, one of your buddies is a yapper.
I was driving to dinner we had the night before dinner. It was a Saturday morning commencement. And I remember hearing it on 1270. And I'm like, ooh, all right. They're throwing down at the AJs on a Friday.
So it was a little loose?
Yes.
It was probably Millar's fault.
Probably so. He's an instigator.
Yeah. It was probably Millar's fault.
And you guys are just giggling. I switched over to it and it was about 15 seconds. You guys are going,
we're just laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. They're just cracking up.
You guys are making each other laugh.
Missed that bar terribly.
It's a good setup. Rest in peace to the young bartender as well, who
passed away in a tragic accident on a four-wheeler.
She did. And that was, I think, our primary point of contact for 3 seasons. She was super nice.
Also stunning, just as an aside. But no, I'm not saying.
No, I know. I agree.
I mean, just also stunning. Really had the world was her oyster.
Yeah. Super sad.
Yeah, that was well, listen, I was there at AJ's the night somebody was shooting the wall outside.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds like a today problem.
Yeah. Unique to this country. But yeah, I walked outside and I remember turning my head and hearing those sounds and then running back in and then running back out as whoever it was drove away and then not believing that I heard what I heard. And then we all walked outside. There was like 5 bullet holes in the wall and they left those bullet holes there forever.
Did they really?
Yeah. It was almost like a point of pride.
Was there a target where they were just doing it because? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. Okay. I'm sure. I don't know whether
you like to investigate these things. That's why I figured I'd ask.
I could reach out to John and figure that out.
Did the cook owe somebody
John
money?
Or Jason probably know the 2 owners, but
yeah,
the cook have something going on. No, I have no. Who knows, man? It was a wonderful place, but there was a lot of shenanigans that went on at the AJ's. This is back in the day where you had plenty of gambling situations and drug situations, and then there is the alcohol mixed into the gambling and the drug situation, and that can often, and then there's a weird, you had fights just in general because of the people that were all boozed up and leaned in that direction in terms of fighting when they got boozed up, so you never really knew what the problem was, but you often witnessed plenty.
I never detected any of that because when I was at AJ's, I was the one engaging in the shenanigans and just trying to make sure that I got through the door with the 21 band around my wrist. That was so when you're focused on your own, not guilt, but your own anxieties,
because you
don't notice anything else that's going on.
Yeah. Well, also I will tell you, kids that are out there now, you guys live in a very different era in which some things are better than they were in my era and some things are much worse. It seems to me, and I don't know this as we get set to start the football season, But there is no, without spending large sums of money and delving into the, the dark web or whatever it's called, you can't get a fake ID that works anymore. I mean, you could just, back in my day, make one. Literally, you could do it with crayons. Crayons. You could you could just...
Crayons.
Yeah, crayons. You could do it. You could not. Now, you have to have all kinds of... there's layers to that thing now.
Now, even in my time, the jersey ID was paper. And so there was an operation that one guy down the hall from me. It's always down the hall.
It's always down the hall.
He had very, very sharp. It had to be fine tip, could go right through your body, kind of sharp colored pencils to get the final digit of the year off in white, let it dry, and then the red colored pencil, and he'd add something for texture. And so he'd change your 1986 to a 1983.
I should reword this based on what our colleague just wrote in the chat. Any place that diligently checks, they ought not work, given the sophistication of the technology that checks them now.
Right.
I went into bars in other parts of the country, which now the hologram, it's incredible.
Yeah. No, it was known back in the day, and it still was when it was still open. Poor Paul's was pretty hard to get into, if not impossible. I know one person who did because it was a sibling, and they looked a lot alike. And then Bo Ankles was like, don't try it. Because they will call the cops.
They put it down.
The cops are coming, man, if you try. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old enough to tell you that my first driver's license, I could just peel back the layer on top and then change the number and then put it back. If you, it was that unsophisticated. Final hour forthcoming. Let's do it.